School is officially over for me and probably a lot of people, but anyway, we're still in quarantine. We have a lot of time to be home. I know that there are a lot of these videos, but I wanted to do my own personal what to watch on Netflix video. So in this video, I'm going to give you 20 shows to watch on Netflix. I don't really watch movies, but if you would like a list on movies, I can also do that. 10 of the shows are going to be things that I've watched and enjoy, and then the last 10 are going to be shows that I plan on watching later in the future. I have them written down in a little booklet. My first show on this list is going to be Grey's Anatomy. I'm currently watching it for the third time, and season 16 just came out on Netflix yesterday, Saturday. I believe it was the 9th. Since I'm rewatching it, I'm still on season 6. I haven't seen season 15 or 16, but I'm excited to watch those. But if you don't know what that show is, it's a medical drama, and it starts off with 5 interns at Seattle Grace Hospital, and there's a lot of drama and relationship and medical stuff. It's a lot. It is a long show. A lot is always going on. Like, there's always new twists and turns. I'm not gonna lie, it can get a bit repetitive in like the breaking up and getting back together. From what I last saw from like season 14, it's like everyone is in a relationship with each other, so, and when they break up they find someone else to go in a relationship with. But otherwise, it's a good show. Then next up on my list is Breaking Bad. It was the first TV show on Netflix that I ever finished, but it is about Walter White. Pretty sure he was a high school chemistry teacher, and he develops cancer, and his son had some type of a disability. I don't remember what it was. And to pay for his cancer treatment and all this stuff, he starts to make and sell meth. His brother-in-law was a part of the drug enforcement, like the people that like do drug bust. His brother-in-law did that, so he was always tiptoeing. His wife didn't know, his son didn't know. I'm surprised I liked a show like that, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Then I have Once Upon a Time. As it sounds, it's kind of like a show based on fairy tales. There's I believe at the start of the show, he's 10 years old. Henry, he is the son of the mayor. What he's trying to get people to believe is that everyone in that town was a part of a fairy tale. So his mom, the mayor, was the evil queen. His teacher was Cinderella. They were all sent to this town because of the evil queen. She sent them there, and she was the only one that knows who everyone really is. And he has to get his real mom, which she later comes into town, to believe him, and once she believes, then everyone can get their memory back, but he has to make her believe. If you're into like fairy tales, Disney stuff kind of like that, I think you would enjoy that. Next up, I have Bates Motel. It was based off of a book. It's about a mom and her son. They open up a motel, and their house is right behind the motel, and the son, he's kind of crazy, not gonna lie, and it's just a lot of stuff happened in that shit. There's killings involved. It's a lot. I really don't know how to explain that show, but it actually is a really good show. It really is. So it's based on Norman and Norma Bates, and they open up the Bates Motel. Then I have Vampire Diaries, but it's about Elena Gilbert. She falls in love with 2 vampires actually, and they're brothers. Once she figures out that they are vampires, her and her friends and all of them deal with a whole bunch of like mythical stuff. Let's read the summary, because I'm like having difficulties summarizing these shows, which I don't know why. I finished the Vampire Diaries. The lives, loves, dangers, and disasters in the town Mystic Falls, Virginia. Creatures of unspeakable horror lurk beneath this town as a teenage girl is suddenly torn between 2 vampire brothers. They deal with her liking both of them, and other problems arise like later on in the show. It's hard to explain these shows without like telling everything that happens. Then I have New Girl. It's kind of like a sitcom, but it's about a girl named Jessie, and she moves in with 3 male roommates, and she ends up like falling in, well, like, I haven't finished the show, but she ends up liking one of them. But it's actually a very like carefree show to watch. It's funny. It's not like a serious show. It's like a funny kind of sitcom-y kind of show that you can start watching it like this year and watch it back a year later. I mean, start back watching it a year later and you won't be too confused on what's happened in the past. The next show I have is Criminal Minds. So it is about some, I did not finish this show, but the episodes and seasons that I did watch were really good. It's about FBI agents, and they are trying to find people that committed crimes, and they're doing this by observing the crimes, like looking at how the crime was done and like motives and all this stuff. It's like a lot of psychological stuff that they think about to figure out who may have done the crime, and just about every time they find the person. Then up I have Riverdale. I believe there's 3 seasons, but I've only seen the first 2, and I like the first season better than the second. But it is about a group of high school kids, and there is this girl, I believe it was her twin brother, was shot and killed, and so they were trying to figure out who did it, and a whole bunch of stuff happened in that show, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, I found a summary because I'm not good at summarizing stuff myself. So it says, the quiet little town of Riverdale is turned upside down after they are struck with the mysterious death of Jason Blossom, a popular high school student and member of the most powerful family in town. Archie and his friends explore the struggles of everyday life in a small town whilst taking on the haunting case of Jason Blossom. In order to solve this mystery, the ragtag group of friends must first unlock the secrets that lies buried deep beneath surfaces of their hometown. Riverdale may not be as innocent as it appears. So yeah, they learn a whole bunch of things about the town and their own families. So it's crazy. I watched that first season in a day. It was so good. Then I have Stranger Things. This was one of those shows that when it first came out, I didn't seem interested in it, so I just didn't watch it. I don't know what made me watch it one day, but then I was hooked onto it. It's like based in the 70s. I'm gonna just film the rest of this video as quickly as possible because stuff keep happening where I have to stop recording. So yeah, I believe I was on Stranger Things, and I was going to give a description from online. After the mysterious and sudden vanishing of a young boy, the people of a small town began to uncover secrets of a government lab, portals to another world, and sinister monsters. Trying to help find them, the boy's friends discover a strange little girl who is on the run from bad men. All these kids are doing this stuff, but like, where are the parents? Is like one of those kind of things. And last up on my list for the things that I've watched is American Horror Story. So American Horror Story, it's a show where each season has a different storyline. So like the first season is Murder House. The second season, I think the second season is Asylum. The third season, I think, is Covered and like stuff like that. So like I said, each season has a different storyline, but all of the main characters stay the same. They just have different names according to the season. Gosh, why are you so heavy? Oh, she want to get to this window that's open. So yeah, if you don't like one season, there's bound to be another season that you may like. Like, I know I stopped watching at Freak Show. I think it was just because there was, like, in the first episode, they were showing the clown a lot, and it was nighttime, and I was like, screw that. So I stopped watching it, but it really is a good show. And although the characters stay the same, just with like, well, the actors stay the same, just different characters, it's not confusing at all, because like I said, all of the story plots are completely different. I think in some later seasons the storylines kind of mix together, but like I said, I stopped at like the 4th season or something. Now on to my 10 things that are on my watch list. First up is All American. I think it came out this year. So for all of these shows, I'm going to Google the summary because I obviously haven't seen them. So I can't really give a description, well, my own personal description on what it's about. Inspired by the true life story of NFL Super Bowl champion Spencer Paysinger, All American is an inspiring and simple family drama about a young high school football phenom, Spencer James, and the two families whose homes he shares after transferring from Crenshaw to Beverly Hills. His mother and brother in South Central LA and the bakers of Beverly Hills, blah blah blah. So I didn't watch this before, like when it first came out, because football, I'm not really interested in sports, but it's becoming more and more popular, so I'm gonna hop on the bandwagon and just watch it. Then up is How to Get Away with Murder. From what I heard, like from someone else's description of it, it's about a group of lawyers. They're trying to figure out like things killers do to get away with murder, and they end up killing someone, accidentally killing someone, and so they have to figure out, you know, how they're gonna get away with it. I'm sorry about the lighting. I've been trying to film this like all day and I had to keep stopping, so the rest of the video is probably gonna be a little dark. Then on my list is the show Money Heist. Money Heist focuses around a planned heist on the Royal Mint of Spain by the professor and his 8 robbers. The first 2 parts were aired as one season in Spain, revolving around the robbery and broken up into vignettes to allow character development through the tension. So it's basically they're trying to rob, but it actually looked really good, and it's dubbed, so it's no subtitles. It's like they voiced over in English, so it just seemed interesting. Then is Elite. When 3 working class teenagers began attending an exclusive private school in Spain, the clash between them and the wealthy students lead to murder. I know about all that. Las Enchincas is the most exclusive school in the country where the elite sends their children to study. So it actually does sound really interesting, because I didn't know that there was a murder involved, but it's another Spanish-based drama. Then is Supernatural. I had 2 friends at college that were like obsessed with this show. I hear that there's a lot of seasons, but it's about 2 brothers and they're like hunting ghosts and all that stuff, from what I hear. 2 brothers follow their father's footsteps as hunters, fighting evil supernatural beings of many kinds, including monsters, demons, and gods that roam the earth. So it kind of sounds like, in a way, Vampire Diaries, but instead of the 2 brothers being the supernatural, the 2 brothers are hunting the supernatural. Then up is The Fosters. I have kind of been wanting to watch this show for a while, but I just never started because I will always watch other shows before it, and I'm not the type of person, by the way, to watch multiple shows at one time. So for The Fosters, teenager Callie Jacob is placed in a foster home with a lesbian couple and their blend of biological, adopted, and foster children. Everything is going fine in the house until Callie and Jude arrive. So that's all I really know. I actually don't know that much about this show, but it does sound interesting. Then up is Ozark. I was like scrolling through and someone said Ozark is a really good show. A financial advisor drags his family from Chicago to the Missouri Ozarks, where he must launder money to appease a drug lord. So yeah, it's kind of like Breaking Bad. Then on my list is The Society. The Society follows the story of a group of teenagers who must learn to run their own community after the rest of the population of their town disappears. The teenagers must come up with their own routes to survive with limited resources. Now that already sounds kind of crazy, because like teenagers coming up with ways to like run their world, and I'm excited to start watching it. Next up is The Haunting of Hill House. When it first came out, I did want to watch it, but like I said, I don't watch more than one show at a time, and I was watching something else at the time, and it just been getting pushed back. Basically, the family moves into like a haunted house, and the plot alternates between 2 timelines following 5 adult siblings whose paranormal experience at Hill House continue to haunt them in the present day, and flashbacks depicts events leading up to the eventful night in 1992 where their family fled from the mansion. Ooh, it's dark. It's dark. And last up on my list is the show Black Mirror, which my friend is like obsessed with the show. I think she said she finished it, but it says it examines modern society, particularly with regards to the anticipated consequences of new technologies. Our world is based a lot around technology, and so it's kind of interesting how it can like go wrong, and that's what the show is about. But yeah, if you have seen any of these shows, Tell me what you think. If you recommend any shows to me, comment them down below and I will try to add them to my list. There's a lot of shows on here that I have to watch and a lot of shows that I recommended. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and have a good, I don't know,